There is something silent, dangerous, and almost always invisible in human relationships, something we only notice once we're already wounded. The truth is that intimacy is never neutral. Intimacy is access, and access is influence. Whoever you allow too close gains power over you. Sometimes that power builds you up. Other times, it destroys. And throughout the whole Bible, one warning keeps appearing. Be careful who you let in. Maybe no one shows this better than Samson. Chosen, anointed, strong in a way the world had never seen. Yet carrying a weakness many of us share. He gave intimacy to people who had no commitment to his purpose. He opened his heart where he should have guarded it. In Judges 16:17 it says, "He told her all his heart." That wasn't an accident. It was a gradual surrender, built on emotional neediness. And the most shocking detail comes right after. In Judges 16:19, the text says that Delilah called a man to cut Samson's braids. She didn't cut anything herself. She only opened the access. Because wrong intimacy works like that. It doesn't destroy you directly. It invites others to destroy what you didn't even notice had become vulnerable. And while he slept, his strength was taken. Sleep. That's the symbolic verb of wrong intimacy. It puts your vigilance to sleep, dulls your discernment, numbs your spirit. You don't notice that you're weakening. You only realize it when it's already too late. But Samson wasn't the only one. Think of David, king, warrior, poet, sensitive to the spirit, and beside him, Joab, a brave ally, but a dangerous one. David knew that man had too much access to his life and his kingdom. In 2 Samuel 3:39, he says, "These sons of Zeruiah are too hard for me." It's almost as if he were saying, they have too much influence over me. Even so, he allowed closeness without discernment. Until later, Joab crosses every boundary and kills Absalom, David's son, defying the king's direct command, just as recorded in 2 Samuel 18:14. This reveals something many people ignore. Closeness without limits always comes with a price. And maybe you think, but I'm not Samson or David. You don't need to be. You just need to be human. You just need a heart. You just need emotional gaps. You just need good intentions without wisdom. Because wrong intimacy always enters through cracks in the soul, never through the fortress gate. Some people get too close, too fast. They access your vulnerabilities, your pains, your secrets. And they do it so naturally that you don't even notice how much you've opened up. Until one day, your peace has already been drained, your energy has been consumed, your spiritual vision is foggy, and you start saying, "I don't know why I'm so tired. I don't know why I'm so confused." Sometimes it's not spiritual warfare, it's influence. Proverbs 4:23 warns, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." God wouldn't command you to guard something that couldn't be stolen. And if you don't watch who enters, someone will enter to distort what God placed inside you. Solomon is proof of that. The wisest man in the world lost his heart not because of war, but because of wrong intimacy. In 1 Kings 11:4, it says, "His wives turned his heart after other gods." He didn't fall all at once. It was constant influence, continuous access, emotional bonding without discernment. Even wisdom becomes fragile when intimacy is given to those who should never have received it. But there is a biblical example that shows the opposite path. Nehemiah. While rebuilding the walls, his enemies tried to pull him into meetings, conversations, distractions. They tried intimacy. In Nehemiah 6:3 he said, "I am doing a great work, and I cannot come down." He protected his purpose by refusing access, and that saved his destiny. Even Jesus teaches us about limits. In John 2:24 it says, "But Jesus did not entrust himself to them, for he knew all people." He loved the crowds, but he didn't open himself to the crowds. He spoke to many, walked with 12, but opened his heart to a few. If Christ himself established limits, why would you think you don't need them? Now take a breath and think honestly. Who today has too much access to your heart? Who did you let in without filtering their intention? Who is shaping your spiritual vision in a way that weakens your steps? Your soul is sacred territory. Intimacy is spiritual responsibility. And maybe your life will only start growing again when you close some doors that were never meant to be opened. If this made sense to you, comment, "I need to adjust my boundaries." Leave a like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to wake up before their strength is cut while they sleep.